think when you get to the point that I was, it's basically war. Basically, I'm declaring war. I mean,
Doug Feldman launched his private war against innocent victims with a powerful semi-automatic handgun. No laws on the books could stop Feldman or most of the other mass killers responsible for an epidemic of random violence. We talked with Feldman shortly after he arrived on Texas death row. It's a rarely heard story because mass killers usually commit suicide.
I mean, if I saw you on the street, I might have shot you. I might have shot that guy right there. I might have shot this guy right over here. Didn't really give a...
The Brady Law's criminal background check prevented a licensed dealer from selling a gun to Feldman because he had a drug conviction. But he still got a gun.
You can look in the newspaper and buy from an individual with no intervention by any kind of federal or state authorities or no registration or anything else. So it's just a commercial transaction like buying a used car or a used piece of furniture. So it was that simple.
A few weeks later, Feldman turned into a real-life Terminator. A service station security camera caught Feldman on his motorcycle randomly shooting one of two truck drivers to death. He later wounded a third man before getting caught.
You know, I feel like I was exceedingly sparing. As I had 400 rounds of ammunition, I could have easily done a Benbrook. I could have easily shot 30 or 40 people before they caught me.
This will then give them the notoriety or the kind of name and fame that they never had during life.
Dr. Greg SAATHOFF, a psychiatric consultant for the FBI, says mass killers begin building destructive fantasies as early as age 10. SAATHOFF says mass killers believe they were never treated fairly and that everyone else is to blame.
It reminds me of the volcano, where from the outside you may see what looks like a peaceful mountainside with sheep grazing, whatever, but inside this core of rage burns.
Feldman was an SMU graduate, financial consultant, and appeared successful.
I don't know, life just seemed unfair, you know. I would see things on the news where people like JFK Jr. just had millions fall into their lap because their great-grandfather was some kind of robber baron. And this guy just has some sort of Cinderella life. And at some very basic level, that really pissed me off.
Seemingly insignificant events like that can trigger a suicidal shooting spree.
Kind of like, you screw me, I'm going to shoot you for it. That's the frame of mind I was in, which is what happened.
A lot of people go through life balanced on the precipice. It's when something happens to them that they fall over the edge.
Roger DEPUE pioneered criminal profiling at the FBI. Now he teaches companies how to recognize warning signs of potential violence.
In all of those situations, there's a vengeance that's that plays a role, and that I have a right to strike back. They've pushed me down so hard, so long, that I have a right to strike back, and I don't care what happens to me, somebody's going to pay for this.
Was I justified in doing it? Not legally, but maybe in some other ways.
Have we done something wrong as a society? Are we reaping what we sowed?
As we become more insulated in our own lives, the sense of community is disappearing. And if that can't be filled by family, if that can't be filled by work, then it may be filled by the darkness that ultimately consumes the individual and those around him.
Yeah, I wasn't ready to die, but I was damn sure angry enough to kill somebody else.